Okay, next topic, current density. So the current density represented by J bar, capital J bar. Okay, we know that the rate of flow of charge or rate of flow of electrons is called electric current. It is represented by I. So current units amperes. So AC current represented by small I, DC currents represented by capital I. So now the current density, so it is one vector quantity, the current passing through the unit surface area. The current passing through the unit surface area is called current density, or the current per unit area is called current density. It is represented by J bar. Current density units are amperes per meter square. So now consider a surface S, and I is the current passing through the surface. Okay, this is one surface and current passing through the surface is I. The surface area of this total surface equals to S. The direction of the current, if the direction of the current is normal to the surface, and hence the direction of the current density also normal to the surface S. So now consider a differential or incremental surface area ds. So this is one differential or incremental surface area ds as shown in figure 1. This is figure 1 and this is figure 2. Okay, assume the current direction is normal to the surface area and an bar is the unit vector in the direction of normal to the surface area. Okay, normal directional unit vector equals to an bar. So the differential current, here differential surface area ds. Now the differential current di passing through the differential surface area ds is given by the dot product of the current density and ds bar. So now the current flowing through this differential surface area is called differential current. This differential current is represented by di, and this current is the dot product of current density and differential surface area. So we can express like this: di equals to J bar dot ds bar, the dot product of current density J bar and differential surface area vector. So here the current is normal to the surface area and the differential surface area in normal direction also ds into an bar. ds bar equals to ds into an bar, and J bar direction also normal to the surface area. So J bar equals to J into an bar. So di equals to J into an bar dot ds into an bar. An bar dot an bar equals to 1. So finally current di equals to J into ds. So total current I equals to, by integrating with respect to surface area, we get total current. So I equals to surface integration J into ds. So units are amperes per meter square. If J bar is not normal to the differential surface area, so here the current is normal to the surface area. So both the current density and the differential surface area direction are same. So both directions are same. So in that case current I equals to, so surface integration J into ds. If the current is not normal to the surface area, or current density is not normal to the surface area, if current density direction is like this, so in that case the current I equals to surface integration J bar dot ds bar, amperes per meter square. So the current flowing is not normal direction, normal to the differential surface area, then the total current is obtained by I equals to closed surface integral J bar dot ds bar. So by integrating this term with respect to surface area, we get total current. So these units are amperes, not amperes per meter square. This is ampere and this is also amperes. Current density units are amperes per meter square. Okay, current density units are amperes per meter square and current units amperes. Okay, this is not amperes per meter square, it is amperes and it is also amperes. So now the different current densities. Okay, we know that current is nothing but the rate of flow of electrons or rate of flow of charge is called current. So the current flowing through the conductors is called conduction current or drift current. The current flowing through the conductors is called drift current or conduction current. So now the conduction current per unit area is called conduction current density. The conduction current per unit area is known as conduction current density, and it is represented by J suffix C bar. So next one, the current flowing through the dielectric materials is called displacement current. Okay, we know that In this dielectric materials, there are bounded charges. Due to these bounded charges, some small amount of current flows through the dielectric materials. This current is called displacement current. So the current flowing in dielectric materials is called displacement current, and the displacement current per unit area is called displacement current density, and it is represented by J suffix d bar. Okay. So next one, the current flowing in liquids or gases is called convection current. The current flowing in liquids or gases is called convection current. The convection current per unit area is called convection current density, and it is represented by J convection bar. Okay. So three types of currents: conduction current, displacement current. So next one, convection current. So conductors current, the current flowing in conductors is called conduction current or drift current. The current flowing through the dielectric materials is called displacement current. The current flowing through the gases or liquids is called convection current. So conduction current per unit area is called conduction current density. Displacement current per unit area is called displacement current density. Convection current per unit area is called convection current density. So this is the current and current density relation. I equals to surface integral J bar dot ds bar. So current density equals to J equals to current by area into normal unit vector. So J bar equals to I by S into AN bar. Okay, next one problem. Set the boundary between glass and air. So given a glass relative permittivity value equals to 4, the lines of electric field so makes an angle 40 degrees with normal to the boundary if electric flux density in the air is 0.25 microcoulombs per meter cube. So determine the orientation and magnitude of electric flux density in glass. So here given, so two dielectric materials, one material glass and another material air. So given glass permittivity value equals to 4, and we know that air relative permittivity value equals to 1. For air, epsilon r value equals to 1. So in air, the electric flux lines makes an angle 40 degrees with normal to the boundary. Okay, so boundary line and a normal line. So boundary having a normal line. So with respect to normal line, the electric flux density makes an angle 40 degrees. So if electric flux density in the air is 0.25 microcoulombs per meter cube. So in air, electric flux density given. So now we have to find in glass the electric flux density value and angle value. Okay, in case of air given angle and electric flux density. So now we have to find the electric flux density and angle in other dielectric material. Okay, this is the solution. Okay, this is the boundary line. Okay, this line is the boundary line between glass and air. Okay, here air is first dielectric material and glass is second dielectric material. Okay, first dielectric material and second dielectric material. So first dielectric material, electric flux density d1 bar, electric field intensity E1 bar. So here first dielectric material we are assuming air. So they given two dielectric material, air and glass. So we have to select any one first dielectric material and another one second dielectric material. Here we are selecting air is first dielectric material, and we know that air relative permittivity value equals to 1. So epsilon r1 value equals to 1. So this d1 bar is electric flux density. So we know that the flux density having two components, every vector having two components, normal component and tangential component. So this is the normal component value with respect to boundary line, the normal component. So in first material, the normal component of electric flux density dn1. In first material, the tangential component of electric flux density dtan1. So this is the resultant electric flux density in first material. This vector is resultant electric flux density in first material. So given it makes an angle with respect to normal component is 40 degrees. This angle equals to 40 degrees. So now we have to find the electric flux density and angle in second dielectric material. Now in this material we have to find d2 value and e2 value and theta 2 value. So we can also find e2 value also by using d2 value. So we know that 4 boundary conditions. In case of dielectric materials, Okay, in different cases we derived boundary conditions. In two dielectric materials, if boundary line is present between two dielectric materials, so in that case the boundary conditions are, so first boundary condition E tan 1 equals to E tan 2, second boundary condition D tan 1 by D tan 2 equals to epsilon 1 by epsilon 2, third boundary condition dn1 equals to dn2, fourth boundary condition en1 by en2 equals to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So now by using these four boundary conditions, so we have to find the electric flux density in other dielectric material, and by using that electric flux density we can find the electric field intensity. So we know that the relation between electric flux density and electric field intensity. Electric flux density d bar equals to epsilon into E bar. E bar is electric field intensity. Okay, so by using that relation we can find the electric field intensity in both materials also. So first one, the boundary condition between two dielectric materials. Okay, third boundary condition dn1 equals to dn2, and fourth boundary condition en1 by en2 equals to epsilon 2 by epsilon 1. So given d1 equals to 0.25 microcoulombs per meter square. So we know that relation cos theta 1 equals to dn1 by d1. Okay, dn1 equals to d1 into cos theta 1. The normal component of any vector equals to, so vector into cosine of angle between normal component and resultant vector. So here dn1 equals to d1 into cos theta 1. So cos theta 1 equals to dn1 by d1. So given theta 1 value 40 degrees, it equals to dn1 by d1 equals to 0.25. So we get dn1 equals to 0.1915 microcoulombs per meter square. So by using this boundary condition, now we have to find dn2 value. So dn2 equals to dn1, dn1 equals to this value. So dn2 equals to dn1 equals to 0.1915 microcoulombs per meter square. So d1 equals to square root of dn1 square plus d tan 1 square. Okay, vector addition, magnitude of d1 equals to square root of the normal component value square plus tangential component value square. So it equals to 0, d1 given, d1 equals to 0.25, so it equals to square root of dn1 value, this value. So d tan 1 value we have to find. So d tan 1 equals to this one, 0.1607 microcoulombs per meter square. Or we can find, so like this also we can find, we know that dn1 equals to d1 cos theta 1, so cos theta 1 equals to dn1 by d1. So sin theta 1 equals to d tan 1 by d1. Sin theta 1 equals to d tan 1 by d1. By substituting theta 1 value and d1 value also, we get this d tan 1 value. In two ways we can find this d tan 1 value. So now the fourth boundary condition d tan 1 by d tan 2 equals to epsilon 1 by epsilon 2. Or it equals to, okay, epsilon 1 equals to epsilon naught into epsilon r1. Epsilon 2 equals to epsilon naught into epsilon r2. Epsilon naught cancel. So it equals to epsilon r1 by epsilon r2. So d tan 1 by d tan 2 equals to epsilon r1 by epsilon r2. So in known values, epsilon r1 value, so given value 1, epsilon r2 equals to 4, d tan 1 value 0.1607. By substituting these three values, we can find d tan 2. So d tan 2 equals to epsilon r2 by epsilon r1 into d tan 1. Epsilon r2 equals to 4, epsilon r1 value equals to 1, and d tan 1 value 0.1607. So we get d tan 2 equals to 0.6428 microcoulombs per meter square. Next d2 value. So by using d tan 2 and dn2, by using these two values, we can find the resultant flux density in second dielectric material. So d2 equals to square root of dn2 square plus d tan 2 square. So substitute dn2 and d tan 2 in this expression. So we get d2 value. So by solving, d2 equals to 0.6707 microcoulombs per meter square. So now find theta value. So cos theta 2 equals to dn2 by d2. Substitute dn2 d2 values, we get cos theta 2, and finally theta 2 equals to 73.41. So this angle equals to 73.41. d2 value equals to 0.6707 microcoulombs per meter square, and theta 2 value 73.41. So if you want to find E1 and E2 values, So directly we can find E1 equals to, okay, E1 equals to d1 bar by epsilon 1. So d1 bar value this one, and epsilon 1 equals to epsilon naught into epsilon r1. So similarly E2 equals to d2 by epsilon 2. Okay, d2 by epsilon 2. So epsilon 2 equals to epsilon naught into epsilon naught 2. Epsilon naught value always constant value, and it equals to 8.854 into 10 to the power of minus 12. And given epsilon r1 equals to 1, epsilon r2 equals to 4. By substituting these values we can find E1 and E2 values also.